The United States Department of Justice released over 3 million files relating to Jeffrey Epstein. And the question I want to ask you, yes, you who are watching, wherever you're watching from, what do you know about what was in those files? What have you seen on the news, whether local or international, about what is in those files? What have you heard? What headlines have you seen? Another question I would like to ask you, since we're asking questions, if your president, say the president of the United States of America, or your prime minister, say the prime minister of England, if it was to be discovered by the media that the president or the prime minister of whichever country you're from raped and killed a child, is that something that you would expect to be on the news? Is that something that is newsworthy? Is that something that you would want to see making the headlines, alerting us that you got a pedophile at the highest level of your government? And would you expect that the justice system would then take action? The members of parliament or members of Congress or whatever name you give to your batch of people that is supposed to be holding the government accountable, would you expect that they would bring articles of impeachment against said president or prime minister? These are just simple questions that I'm asking you because 3 million files have been released, and the media, for the most part, is mum. I suspect that most of you who are watching probably don't know anything about what is in those files or what the significance of those files are because the media is silent. The greatest scandal in the history of humankind has been released and the media is silent. You know, during the COVID-19 pandemic, I told you, I even wrote an article on my Substack. I'll try to link, I'll try to, I won't link it, but I'll try to find it and post a snapshot of it in this video called The Death of the Fourth Estate. The media is supposed to be the fourth estate. The media is supposed to be that, what you call it, that pseudo fourth arm of the government that holds the government to account, that speaks truth to power. And from about the 1960s, Operation Mockingbird in the United States of America, and people say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory, and I mean, now we're in 2026, and most of the stuff that were conspiracy theories are all of a sudden no longer conspiracy theories because there's no evidence that come to light that these things actually happened. Where the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States of America took over the media, and not just in the US, across the length and breadth of the world, to spread propaganda. And so the media has become propaganda. It's not, you're not getting news, you're not getting anything impartial, you're getting curated stories. We saw that made manifest during the COVID-19 pandemic, where all the vaccines were safe and effective. Wear a mask, social distance. And I believe that people are content to be ignorant of what is going on in the world because most people just don't want to deal with the evils. We have, I don't know if these people are human beings. I have no evidence to suggest that I don't have any evidence to suggest that we have non-human entities walking among us. But their brand of evil is bone chilling. Now, when we talk about killing babies, sacrificing them, eating their flesh, drinking their blood, it sounds so bizarre that it's like, you gotta be crazy, dude. Like, why would you say something like that? There's nobody eating babies and drinking their blood. But according to, God, I think it's, I don't remember, one of those international organizations, I think it's either UNESCO or WHO, 4 million children go missing each year. And I believe it, one of those international organizations again, that says that human trafficking is $1 trillion business. What do you suppose they're doing with those children? Just having sex with them? In the Epstein files, when people go through some of the emails and the documents, sacrifices, ritual sacrifice of children is in there. The eating of human flesh is in there. And some of the people in the highest levels of government and society, the Prince of England is in there. There is one report is that the king himself sacrificed a bunch of people. And when I say sacrifice, I mean kill them to some god. And that is why, of course, there was this great reluctance to release the documents. And so now the documents are released. And you would think that, okay, well, these big media houses, BBC, CNN, Al Jazeera, they have the millions of dollars to pay people to comb through these files or to write an app to, and then we would be having round-the-clock updates on what is in the file and, you know, speaking truth to power and trying to hold the people who are in these files accountable for the atrocities that they have committed. And nothing. And the question is, why is that? You see, when I tell people that you have a bunch of evil people running the world, it's a cabal, it's not a lot. I would suspect maybe you have about 10,000 in total, because it's not numbers that count, it's wealth. And that wealth commands power, and they wield that power. And so it's like a spider's web. You have one spider, and the tentacles and the web spreads out, and you can affect a lot of people without them even knowing that you are the one behind the scenes pulling the strings. We talk about the depopulation agenda, we talk about the 2030 agenda, and at least now you may, for persons who are aware of what is in the file, you may be more inclined to believe that you're trying to kill 7 billion people. That has been the end goal. These people, I have to say people because I don't have any evidence that otherwise, but the level of, the brand of evil that they practice, it cannot be human. Maybe my mind just, because I guess you'd have to be just as evil to understand. My mind, I can't wrap my mind around just how evil these people are. But yeah, that's what is in the Epstein files. Evil on full display. And there is not a lick about it in the media. And the question you need to ask is why?